Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the opportunity to come and share a little bit of our experiences with the beautiful and gorgeous world of sports and the way we communicate with the consumer. So we wanted to start with the key messages or the way that we position our campaigns and the way we start the conversation with the consumer, like Arnaud and everybody has been telling you. Communication and planning starts way, way ahead of the game. So very important to have this dialogue with the consumer well in advance, during and post. Every stage is as important as the other one. So for us, being authentic, being connected, and being inspiring are key things or key strategies or key things to keep top of mind when we're trying to develop these campaigns. For the first area of dialogue or business, we have authentic, being authentic. This can take many ways, shapes, or forms. For us, we're at a privileged situation in which we're very close to the athlete. We get to see him train, we get to see him compete, we get to see him with his family. And this allows us to have great, deep, and meaningful insights, right? So having the right product at the right athlete at the right time is the first and foremost the DNA of our company, right? Being on the field, being with them at all times. Having this relationship with the athletes and having this connectivity allows us to get key consumer insights and key athlete insights, with which what we do is create stories. What do we do best? We tell stories. And how do we do it? In innovative ways that creates us a separation from the consumers, from the competition, and allows us to offer unique consumer experiences. So having the right product with the right time at the right athlete, key component of us, that's one of the ways that authenticity takes shape in the world of Nike. Having developed the key insight and knowing exactly what the story we want to tell allows us to create compelling consumer experiences in the way and shapes of grassroots events. In the screen, you see an example of a activation we did. This is the Mexican version of that execution. Over 55 countries were involved in this. It's a campaign that lasted over a year in everywhere where Nike has presence in the world. What was the insight? The insight came from Euro Cup 12. We developed a campaign. It's called My Time Is Now. Translated in many languages, what we're trying to do here is offer the consumers, amateur soccer players 16 to 19 years old, the opportunity to let them be seen. The opportunity, offering the chance is the name of the campaign. So we wanted to offer these kids the opportunity to show themselves. If they don't have a contract, we're going to go and look at them with scouts, with recruiters all over the world, and offer them a compelling experience. The campaign was attached to the Euro Cup 12 campaign that we had, where we were trying to say, your time is now. My time is now. Don't wait until tomorrow. That consumer, very basic insight that we can develop to talk about it. So with this, I want to show you the video in which we connected in a very compelling way with kids all over the world.
Hey, hey. Chasing status. I was raised in the city. Against odds. It's on. I will not lose. Look, I was raised in a city with no heart, where there's no heart. Stepping when it comes to me getting that no fast. I'm a hustler, I'm a hustler. Raised on the battlefield, born as a sufferer. Before I had a deal, I was still stacking bills. Get punk, sell food to the customers. Now I get love crews in the back of the S-Class. Them can't move like that, you know. I come from where man were done there for hardly nothing. You can see it in the news, I'm hardly fronting. Got kids with guns in the heart of London. Bulletproof vests like $100. That's no actors and actresses. Gully round here, niggas stashing them straps and mattresses. Soon as it exits that stage, you might see always getting in trouble. That's how it's always been. How can you win? How can you win? How can you win? How can you win? Look, I was raised in the city when they was out blazing the Philly. I was on the 5 bus chasing the titties. The back of the class on Lou Ross with a stiffy. Tanisha, Tessa, Leslie and Richie. Look, it's a cocoa world. Gangsters living in a po-po world. So I've been cocoa with a go-go girl. Escaping reality I know so well. But when you're a kid, you don't know no better. Boys find trouble trying to find that cheddar. Money breeds envy, might get set up. When pockets get empty, niggas get jealous. Killer done told them, poor people fed up. And they didn't water, stretching that ketchup from south of the border. Northwest to east, it's got around here. Gotta see it to believe it. Always getting in trouble. That's how it's always been. How can you win? How can you win? How can you win? How can you win? Let me tell you something. Look, maybe just because I'm a Londoner that I love London town, but London's foul. London's a merry-go-round, a cycle of life full of ups and downs. Cause up till now, we ain't never won with the odds against us. The million to one, see the winter's messy, but it gets silly in the sun. No fights to draw the 9 million is done. How can I win? How can I win? How can I win? How can I win? Yo, Jason Status and K.A.
Okay, so a little bit of context in this. So why did this work so well from us? Like many global companies, the tricky part is how you tropicalize these strategies so that it's relevant to the consumer, right? And you're offering a unique experience that nobody else can match. So you'll see at least 55 executions of this related to 55 countries where we've been. So it's very different, right? And we heard today about media distribution, whether you do it online versus TV and all those great things. Key thing here is the tropicalization of global strategies. So that's the Mexican version of it. Another key component of that, emerging markets. We're here to speak emerging markets, the importance about Brazil, Mexico, so on and so forth with the SoCo region. With this particular strategy for us, the emerging markets were leading all sorts of metrics within Nike. And a little bit of the insight behind it is our idiosyncrasies, our aspirational levels in our Hispanic cultures, our own passion and our drive. That allowed our consumer in the emerging markets to engage a little bit more with the campaign. So in terms of sheer participations, the emerging markets led the way with this campaign. So key takeaway, how consumers react versus mature markets. For us, Brazil, Mexico, and the SoCo region led the efforts for this campaign. So grassroots events, this is authenticity for us. The next concept we had was connectivity, right? And we wanted to stress how connectivity is not only being digitally connected. For us, what it means is to be able to be current and being relevant at the right time, with the right tone. Depending on Arnaud touched on this a little bit, right? He was telling us different brands, different messages, different tones, and be consistent with the communication at all times. Going back to what I was saying about start the conversation prior, keep the conversation and the dialogue during, and then past events, such as the ones that are coming in Brazil. So being current, be relevant, in the right tone, with the right imagery. So in this era, I want to shift a little bit and speak about specifically football and what has meant football in the past 2 World Cups for us. Arnaud touched a little bit on Ride the Future. The Ride the Future campaign for us was 2010. It was a massive undertaking. It is a massive campaign. Very similar to the one we shifted right now. We did it in Eurocup, right? So Ride the Future versus My Time Is Now. What I wanted to touch base on that is the difference between 2010 and 2012, how fast is the consumer evolving in terms of engagement. So for us, the spot in 2012, I don't know how many people got a chance to see that. It had a digital engagement component, whereas the consumer was able to click on different aspects of the video and then continue in a different journey. Whereas it's removing yourself from the video and coming back, similar to what we saw from Yahoo earlier in the presentation, and then keep going at it. End results were astonishing. The amount of minutes that each unique visitor was using and engaging with our piece was overwhelmingly successful. So here, the point that I want to stress is how do you do campaigns where you're not only positioning your brand and dumping information in just one-way dialogue with your consumer, but how do you actually engage them with it? How do you actually get them to spend time with your brand and your message, right? So many ways of doing that, and are not touched about it on how strategically you can define those messages. Shifting a little bit specifically for Poland, so Warsaw, what you're seeing on screen is our takeover of one of the most important malls in Poland, right? What we wanted to do here is actually get the consumer to help us create this campaign. So what you saw in this wall, interactive wall, millions of people walking through it, is messages from around the world, filtered through the Nike Global digital world, and then publishing it out. What we call the virtual cycle of existence, right? We asked you to engage, you fed the information, you're published. In a sense, we're putting you in the landmark, we're putting you in the spotlight at any other consumer, and that creates a compelling relationship or two-way dialogue with the consumer. With this, I just wanted to shift really quick into the world of Olympics, or rather the way we inspire and a key insight that we developed for London. So I'm going to roll the video and then I'll speak a little bit about it.
Aquí no hay grandes festejos, no hay discursos ni hay destellos, pero sí hay grandes atletas. De alguna manera, hemos llegado a creer que la grandeza está reservada para unos cuantos, para las superestrellas. La verdad es que la grandeza es para todos. No se trata de bajar las expectativas, sino de elevarlas para cada uno de nosotros. Porque la grandeza no está en un solo lugar, ni en una persona especial. La grandeza está donde hay alguien tratando de encontrarla.
Beautiful. Very cool. So that was our spot for London 12. Arnaud touched a little bit on this. What happens when you're not the official sponsor, right? So this campaign and what you're seeing in the next couple of slides came from a key situation or position where we were. We're not the official sponsor. So what are we going to do about it? We turn around and we celebrated everyday athletes. The spot says it, find your greatness. What we did a campaign where we're elevating everyday athletes. We're, again, asking them to engage with us. Send us your message. How do you find your greatness on your everyday life? How do you find greatness on your everyday sporting activities? They fed us the information. We turned it around. We put in the same creative that we had elite athletes. Your hashtag is there. All your friends know, see your communication. It is viral. And it, again, involves in that virtual cycle of existence. So that's the example of an everyday athlete. This is the example of an elite athlete. Notice there's no call out on London. Notice there is, everybody to a certain extent should be familiar with the Rule 40 from IOC, whereas there's specific rules on how to advertise and how not to advertise. So this is a way that it's just a simple concept, came from a real life situation where we're positioned, and this is how our campaign looked like. So that's the world of inspiring through the lens of Olympic campaign for us. And last but not least, we wanted to touch a little bit on something that are not touched, corporate responsibility. So really quick, I'm going to get off stage. But I did wanted to leave you with a couple of messages with this. So it's not only about coming over and developing strategies and dumping materials and collaterals and packing up the city and then leave. The idea will be to actually leave a legacy. And the example on the screen is what we did for 2012 in South Africa, 2010. We developed a sport complex in a place where there was very little access to sport. So what we try to do is leave a legacy through the lens of sporting facilities and sporting camps and sporting activities. So that's how we developed this campaign. So leave a legacy, very important for us. And then super quick, to wrap up, being authentic, being connected, and being inspiring is our world. And ultimately, a common denominator on every single thing we do, be it a consumer experience, being a campaign, being a simple message, it's being innovative. And we're at best at Nike when we tell stories that are innovative and compelling to the consumer. So that's it in a nutshell.